What is going on, everyone? We are here for the Week 18 version of the Circa picks against the spread and formerly Survivor picks, but that's pretty much wrapped up for the year. I am Russell Clay. We are joined by Rob Rink and Tyler Beaker. Rob, Tyler, a final week of the season. It's now Week 18 instead of Week 17, but some playoff spots are locked in. Some are not. Some teams are tanking for a better draft pick. We got Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz, maybe. Tyler, what's going on, man?
Hey, excited for Week 18 to a certain degree. I really dislike this week. It's terrible for betting. It's terrible for DFS. It's one where you want to play light volume personally. But we have some titles on the line. We got some positional postseason seeding on the line. So there is some games at play that actually matter. It's just seeding through the rough ones, trying to figure out where we want to place our money. That makes this an interesting challenge.
Rob?
You guys are going to have to help me out a lot with who's starting at quarterback. But you know which game lost last week? The Rams. The game we all said we should not take this one because everyone had fives across the board, and the Rams lost. So anything that everyone is on this week, we automatically just have to flip to the other side of that.
Honestly, great move. I love it. Can we do that for next year? Just fucking flip.
Let's fade ourselves every time there's a heavy favorite.
Because that's happened a couple times this year. So maybe that can be our brand next year. The flip the top pick move. All right. So if you haven't watched the show before, we're gonna go through each game so Circa locks the picks, I think Wednesday or Thursday, and we go through those lines, see what works, see it doesn't, and then maybe go with the opposite of what our read is. So all right, let's do it. No Thursday games this week. We are kind of the NFL shifts their schedule big time towards the end of the year. We got 2 Saturday games. And then the rest is all that Sunday goodness. So let's start with Steelers and Ravens. Ravens +4 at home, boys. So much disrespect for Lamar Jackson, Tyler. Can you believe he's an underdog at home?
Well, he is not playing, so that makes sense. We've got another battle of backups here. QB3 for Pittsburgh versus QB2 for Baltimore. This game is a typical AFC North matchup where you want to back the underdog. That's how I always play these games because they're always close fought battles. They're always low scoring. The Ravens, I believe they're like 20-4 over the last 24 games when they're an underdog at home. Some of those stats go with Lamar. Some of them also go with Tyler Huntley, who will be starting here. So I'm taking Ravens +4 if I'm picking the side. I don't think we did. Did anybody grab this in our contest?
Yes. Rob is on the Steelers and Rob's a 3 on the Steelers. Ted's a 3. So that's what's going on there. Rob, you were on the Steelers here. So what's your thoughts?
My thoughts are that Tomlin's going to give Huntley fits. J.J. Watt's going to give him fits. I feel like they get after him pretty good here and bring home the W in Baltimore. These are always close. 4 is a super shitty number to bet. So there's that. But I like him to get the job done here. By the way, 16 seasons in a row, Mike Tomlin, over 500.
Unbelievable.
Do the Steelers have a chance to make the playoffs here? Like, what's the scenarios that have to play out for Pitt to make it?
The easiest path is them winning and the Bills to lose. There's like 5 other scenarios that can also unfold, but that's the easiest, most direct path.
Got it. And the Bills, well, we'll get there, but they have a chance to lose this week.
They're the Sunday night football game, the last one, so that'll be a fun one to watch.
All right, so hear me out, Rob, and I feel like you're probably going to be with me here. This team with Mason Rudolph is pretty good, right? Like he's not great, but he's what? In Madden, he's probably like a 68, Tyler, right? But that's a huge upgrade.
I'd love to talk Steelers football the rest of the show. Listen, what he's doing differently than we've seen all season is he's hitting receivers in stride. He's hitting them in good spots. Pickett had not been able to do that. Obviously, Mitch Trubisky just needs to hang him up. But, he is putting the ball in better spots than the receivers have been getting it all year. And, Pickett is saying he's not going to play a backup role. I think that's why he didn't dress last week, honestly, is he said he's not going to play a backup role to Mason. So, there's some drama there. Obviously, long-term, Rudolph is not the solution in Pittsburgh.
Sure.
But yes, they are a better football team right now than they have been all season.
I've been super impressed. And unlocking the George Pickens thing, most secondaries cannot guard him if he's getting accurate passes thrown his way. So I don't know.
You just have to be close. Like he's one of those, you just have to throw it in his vicinity. And I mean, that play that went for 80 yards or whatever, Rudolph hit him in stride here. He didn't have to, you're not going to catch the man. Right. So it's like, if you just put it in his vicinity, you're in good shape. So, and our past QBs couldn't even get the ball close to him. So,
yeah. We'll see. All right. Texans, Colts, CJ Stroud back. Tyler, you're a 4 here. I'm also a 4 on the Texans -1.5. What are your thoughts on this game?
We've got a ascending D'Amico Ryans led defense with some healthy players getting back for the Texans up against the Gardner Minshew led offense for the Colts. I think if we're looking at a neutral field, this is probably going to be Texans -3. This is in Indy, and they're only getting -1.5. I think this is a spot where we see CJ Stroud, the leading candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year, really hit his stride and take on a Colts defense that cannot rush the passer, cannot defend the pass, and we see them pour it on. The question for the Texans, though, really is who lines up for them at wide receiver? Are we going to be down to John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson? Like, it's going to be super thin beyond Nico Collins. But I do think the Texans pull off this win. This is a game winner gets to go into the postseason. Imagine Texans secure the W here.
Yeah, my only concern for this game, the reason I avoided it is I don't know who the pass catchers are. It may not matter. Stroud is obviously infinitely better than Gardner Minshew. And yes, I agree. Rookie of the year, no fucking doubt. But I didn't play this side.
I guess my thought is beginning of the year, I was kind of like, oh, CJ Stroud's weapons suck balls. And he made them pretty good. And so I was high on John Mechie, the prospect. He has not rounded into form here, but I don't know. We'll see. But if I'm trusting a team or a quarterback in week 18 for a playoff spot, it's not going to be Gardner Minshew. So, yeah. All right. Cowboys, Commanders. Cowboys -13.5 on the road at Washington. Washington really kind of getting bullied this last couple months of the season since they made those trades. And it's really that secondary that kind of makes the rest of the team fall apart here. Nobody really touched this game. Rob, do you have any thoughts on this?
I mean, Dallas should dominate them here. I said this with the New England game last week that was 13.5 that covered relatively easily. I'd be concerned. I mean, it's just too many points this late in the season. I mean, Dallas needs the W, right?
Mm-hmm. They do, yes.
Yeah, they don't have, but it's not like they have to cover. So I'd be worried about the 13.5.
I could see this like racing out to like a 30-3 kind of half, and then them just icing it. The question is, does Washington backdoor cover? There's no need to take the spread in my eyes, given all the other options on the board this week.
Well, yeah, and the newest dilemma for people wanting to bet on Washington Commanders football, this Jacoby Brissett clearly being better than Sam Howell. So it's like, if Sam Howell starts 4 quarters, we are pretty locked in. If Jacoby Brissett comes in at halftime, it's like, well, shit, he's been looking much better. So that's the other thing to watch. Howell's got a pretty short leash at this point. So, all right, Rams +4 on the road against the 49ers here. Again, Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz. Man, I don't know. So, Rob, you're a 4 here on the Rams. Tyler, you're a 3 here on the 49ers. And I'm just going to say, fight! And I'm staying out of this one.
I feel like Tyler's probably got something up his sleeve here. So I'll let Tyler go first on this one.
So I bet against the Rams pretty routinely in the preseason because they are by far like the thinnest team in the NFL. They have somehow gotten to this far to this year with huge steps by some of their guys, but everyone behind them, I have massive question marks about. For that reason, I just think that the 49ers depth is far, far better than what the Rams have at this time. That's really all I have here.
Well, are the 49ers going to play anyone?
No, probably not. There's no need for them to.
So we've got third stringers, second stringers, third stringers going in here.
Same with the Rams, though.
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. The Rams' depth is better, is not as good as. No, you're saying the Rams' depth is better than the 49ers?
No, the other way. I'm back in the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Look, I don't know how hard I could duke this out with a bunch of backups going against each other. I just took the points. I just took the points. That's my argument, Russ.
Yeah, some of these, this is like one of the games that it's like, it's not preseason, Tyler, but it's kind of this hybrid of like, all right, how are we going to manage this backup? Which team has better second stringers, which team has better walk-ons and like the college basketball when they send the guys out for the final 3 minutes. So yeah, we'll see about this one. That could be a fun game. I guess my lean is like, I feel like Sam Darnold could be all right in this system. So that's the one thing I want to watch out for. But yeah, it's Sean McVay ultimately pretty good coach there. All right, Bills Dolphins. Bills -3 on the road here. Russell's a 1 on the Bills. I just feel like this Bills team has played much better in the second half of the year since they let go of their coordinator. I feel like Josh Allen in a big game is better suited than this Dolphins offense, but I guess we'll see. Everyone else stayed away, so should be a great game to watch at the very least. You probably don't even need to bet on this one to watch it. So Tyler, what do you got?
I think this should be a run-oriented attack for both squads, given the recent play we've seen from OC Joe Brady for the Bills. The way to attack the Dolphins is on the ground, and they have lost a lot of pieces, though, on their defense. Like both of their starting pass rushers, they lost Xavier Howard, who was carted off last week, a starting cornerback. And I think Jalen Ramsey's also banged up. Like there's some injuries there. They might get Jerome Baker back, but there's some injuries here on this Miami team where I would be siding with Buffalo too if I were to take a team. Winner of this game, gets the number 2 seed, massive in the AFC, especially with the postseason implications for that. So this should be a very fun one to watch. I'm glad this is the one they made the Sunday Night Football finale.
Yeah, I'm borderline surprised by the spread. Like, I would have thought 2.5 might be the right number here, honestly. Bills at 3 is, I don't know, it just kind of feels like a lot, but this is one I just want to watch and probably have zero action either way. Fun showdown though, right? Sunday night game, get the pick between these two teams on the showdown slate. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that should be a great game, and I'm really excited for it. It's going to be a clash of styles and who's healthy, because I mean, Tyreek looked healthy last week, but
what's going on with the Diggs targets though? Like, is there really something here? And snap counts? Like, I think I read he's 60% of snap counts or something. Like, what's going on with Diggs?
So his second half splits with the Bills has been really bizarre. Some of it I think was weather related, but not really, like not all of it. These games aren't all in Buffalo in the winter, he's not getting looked at, Tyler. And I mean, some people can blame this year on the coordinator switch, but this has been a theme. I mean, last year he had like 800 yards in the first 6 games, and then it was like complete fall off the cliff. So I don't. What do you think about this? Because it is bizarre.
Well, last year we can blame that on the UCL injury for Josh Allen's elbow, which was injured like right at the midway point. We kind of had the same exact thing unfolding this year with a OC change at the midway point. But you're right, though. I mean, even like to see Gabe Davis hit home against the Chargers like 2-3 weeks ago and not Diggs, just frustrating for anyone who has him for fantasy purposes. I don't have any clear indication as to why, but there's nothing like in terms of the injury report. There's nothing in terms of the schemes or what they're doing differently with him. It's just they're running more and they're finding a lot of success with it. So they're just not finding the need to like have Josh Allen throw it 35, 40 times. And because of that, we're just seeing fewer opportunities. Like I think one game he had like 7 or so completions in a game, like 15 completions in another game. There's just not a lot of bread. Like there's just not a lot going on right here. I did want to point out, Rob, that you were right that in the open market right now, the Bills are minus 2.5. So that's if you're looking at betting that's a big look elsewhere. Look elsewhere than Circa. Yeah.
Well, remember the Circa lines are stale for anyone watching that doesn't realize that. So they don't move once they're set. So ultimately, if you take Bills in the contest, you're taking a bad number.
The good move is to look at the Circa numbers first and then go to all the sports books and be pleasantly surprised and be like, oh, better number. But one last thing. So even back to 2021, Stephon Diggs had no 100-yard games from week 11 to 18 of 2021 either. So this is 3 straight years of, I don't know what it is. This feels like, Rob, don't people joke about pitcher versus hitter in baseball? It feels random like that, but at the same time, it's like I might bet against it next year. F you, Stephon. All right, let's go. Falcons Saints. Your boy hovered over Falcons plus 0.5. Ultimately didn't do the plus 3.5 for the Falcons here. Saints are the better team, minus 3.5 at home. But does Derek Carr win a close game here, Rob, or is this just a shit show?
Oh boy, I don't want to bet this with your money. So like, I have no desire to be on either side of this game. I won't watch it, and I just don't care about it.
That's the best advice. If we're looking for actual advice here, that's what we're looking for. All right.
I love everything you just said there, Rob. Lockstep agreement. These two teams played earlier in the season. It was a 24-15 win for the Falcons. Both these teams can clinch the NFC South with a win here. So it's a very, very important game. Nobody wants to watch it, though.
What are their records, by the way? Talking about clinching, what are these two teams' records going into this?
I think they're 8-8, right?
Both.
It's got to be close to that. Let me pull it up real quick. We've got the Falcons at 7-9 and the Saints at 8-8.
Ugh.
As an AFC North guy, it just always pains me to fucking see some of these records that are competing to win their division.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly. I mean, let's be honest. Both these teams would be like 3-13 in the AFC North, right? So, imagine Desmond Ridder playing the Steelers and Ravens and all those teams every week. Yeah,
it's a
all right. And I want to point out Arthur Smith putting out ominous like meme tweets. So I feel like
it's a spoof. I don't think that was real.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I think somebody photoshopped that.
Oh, I got. Right. Well,
got to be careful on the internet, Russ.
I've lived the last 5 hours thinking that was real. Yeah. So, yeah, you can still get got in 2023. All right, next game. Eagles, Giants. Eagles -5. Ted's a 4 on the Eagles. Giants +5 at home. Rob, any plus money interest here, or is this just a stay away?
I mean, the Eagles aren't playing for anything, right?
No, they can win the number 2 seed, but they play concurrently with the Cowboys. So they'll be scoreboard watching. If the Cowboys are up big on the Commanders, maybe the Eagles start pulling their guys, treat this as a little bit of a bye week, taking off the second half of the game. So it's kind of a strange one here with this Philly team.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this game. I don't like it. I definitely don't want to lay 5. Again, super weird number. There's some strange numbers out there. I don't want to lay any points in this game though.
Yeah, I mean, I can just see the Eagles being up 14-3, and Jalen Hurts is headed to the locker room
100%.
just without a helmet in the second half. Yeah, not fun. All right. Bengals -7 at home against the Browns. Browns did clinch a playoff spot last week. Rob, you're on the Bengals here -7. Ted's a 5 here on the Bengals. Tyler, you're a 1 on the Browns. Jeff's a 3 on the Browns. So we got a brouhaha on this game. Rob, we'll go to you first. What do you think?
Well, we were just talking about this division. I mean, this is one of those matchups, right? I just don't know what the Browns' incentive is to play. Maybe Tyler can correct me, but I mean, Cincinnati, right? So, for me, I'm okay laying 7 here with a Browns team that's already moved on to next week. So, that's the entire thesis for my side is the Browns have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. The Browns have locked themselves in the number 5 seed. This is truly a meaningless game. They cannot go up or down given their 11-5 record. So this is a great spot for the Browns to just simply rest anybody that's been injured. That includes almost their entire starting offense. That includes a good number of defenders. So I understand taking the 7, but in a low-scoring game, I want to take the +7 just given the nature of the number. That's all I really have. It's a number-based play than anything here. Cincinnati, I mean, they're still down. They're probably not going to have T. Higgins, who's banged up and entering a contract off-season. There's no need for him to play out there. Tyler Boyd's likely playing his final game as a Bengal. There's a chance we see Jamar Chase and guys like Andre Yoshevitz and Charlie Jones and Tanner Hudson. It's really the B, C list guys outside of Jamar Chase. For that reason, I kind of think that the Browns could keep it close just based on their style of play. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the hell out of this ball with Pierre Strong. They're third RB. The Cincinnati Bengals, they've just been a defense that has fallen off over this last final month. To see Mason Rudolph drop 30 on them, to see everybody drop big points on this defense makes me think that the Browns play slow, small ball, and just limit possessions for both sides. And for that reason, I want to take the +7 and the larger spread.
So Flacco is not playing?
No.
Okay.
It's Jeff Driscoll. Jeff Driscoll.
Oh, God. Jeff Driscoll. Holy shit.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
Holy shit. All right. Well, I used to fade him in college football because he stunk. So in the NFL, that might be something I have to think about, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Bears, Packers -3 at home. Tyler, me and you are on the Bears. My real thought here is just they've been playing phenomenal over the last 6 weeks, and I'm just still on the train, and we're getting plus money here. Packers have played well. It's not really a play on them. It's just this team with Fields healthy, and after their transactions, they've just looked really good. So I don't know. What are your thoughts here on this game?
Echoing what you think, the defense has played lights out as of late. If it weren't for some Tyson Bagent games mid-season, the Bears should be fighting for a postseason spot here. And they can play the role of spoiler by nixing the Packers' last hopes to get a wild card spot. And we have Justin Fields fighting for his goddamn career here. He is trying to get a contract, whether it be with the Bears or anybody else. He's going to want to play lights out. This is also a Packers defense that you can run relentlessly against. So Justin Fields should have a great spot there. But really a smash spot for Khalil Herbert, who the last 2 weeks has just been on fire. I think they flat out win this game. So getting them to cover +3 is a great number to be.
Rob, any thoughts?
Yeah, I could be put on the Bears here. Everything Tyler just said sounds appealing to me. It's also Bears-Packers, which is always, just a fun spot. I mean, they obviously both want to kill each other at all times. So getting Bears +3 with Fields, I could be moved on this game really easily.
Yeah. So again, in these final weeks, one of the things is motivation. we have a few things going on here. Number one, Rob just said Bears, Packers. These teams care. They hate each other, especially Bears. They hate the Packers. They've just been getting beat up on for 2-3 decades straight here. So, and Justin Fields, he does not want to get traded, man. This Bears situation is about to be really, really, really good. And whoever the quarterback is going to be in a really great spot. And I know Justin Fields is looking at this like, okay, if I can keep this spot. Now, they may have already decided to move on, but if they decide to keep him and they get like Marvin Harrison and DJ Moore and all that next year, man, that's a great spot for him. So,
Russ, is Marvin going 1 in the draft?
I don't think so, but I think they can trade down and still get him. It's just if they, if they decide to go with the quarterback, then, and it's null and void. But Justin, you got to put up 500 yards and 4 touchdowns here so we can get this to happen. But yeah, should be a really fun game. All right. Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks -2.5 on the road. Tyler, you're 2 here on the Seahawks. Jeff is a 2 here. I guess the argument for the Cardinals side is they beat the Eagles last week. However, we've been talking about this for about 2 months now. Rob, I think you brought this up after the Bills game. The Eagles just look tired. They just kind of look beat up. I don't know if that was a Cardinals win or an Eagles just like fuck it, So I don't know. Tyler, what do you think about this game?
Seahawks can still get a wild card spot with a win here, so they'll be playing all out for this game. Arizona doesn't really have anything to win other than lessening their draft pick positioning in the draft. So I don't really think there's much motivation there aside from keeping your opponent out of the postseason. Man, Seattle's been so hard to back, though. They've lost 5 of their last 7. They've been absolutely dreadful. But this is a Cardinals defense that has very minimal in terms of talent. Like they still give up 30+ points to the Eagles. Can they put up 30 points against the Seahawks defense? I have my reservations. So I like to take the Seahawks team under a field goal. It's really a numbers play and a motivation play.
Yeah. Rob, anything here?
Oh boy, Arizona keeps surprising. They've been holding spreads close. I wish I had the conviction to bet their money line last week. I did not, but they keep holding teams close. And granted, they have nothing to play for, which is also a little bit scary. Maybe they continue to do what they've been doing. I just really want no part of this game personally.
Fair enough. All right. The illustrious battle. Jets, Pats. Pats -1.5 at home. Nobody even thought about touching this game. I kind of do think the Jets are the better team here, but on the road, Rob, give me something here.
The only thing I will say is I want nothing more than Belichick to go up there and get his ass handed to him. So that's what I'll be rooting for. But at the end of the day, I don't want to touch this either side of this game.
Tyler, are we getting 12 Breece Hall dump off catches in this one?
He's averaged 12.5 targets over the last 2 weeks. He has 25 targets over the last 2 games.
Unreal.
Trevor Siemian just does not throw to anyone other than him and Garrett Wilson.
You love it. Love to see it.
Awful. He is awful. There are 52 quarterbacks that have had 75+ dropbacks this year. He is 51st out of 52 in EPA per play.
No. Wait, Siemian, who's the other guy?
It's another guy on the Jets. I forget his name right now. It's the other quarterback they had.
Tim Boyle.
Tim Boyle. Yeah, he's the other guy. It's just not great. It's just not great with the Jets right now. Patriots are at home, which is why I think they're getting the spread in their favor, but it's really hard to back Bailey Zappi as well. My thoughts are we see a ton of Breece Hall. We see a ton of Ezekiel Elliott, and the under hits. We're looking at an under of 30 points. We've got a lot of snow. We've got a lot of wind. This is going to be a brutal New England game. The under is probably going to hit. We're probably looking at a 10-7 game.
Oh, I love it. Speaking of that, I have to say I woke up. My nephew sent me a video. He got one of those got the local news. You know, they're going to the live, and he's like, "Stay off the sidewalks." And I was like, look at this guy getting on the local news for the snowstorm. All right. Anyway, yeah, stay away from that game. All right. This game here, Jags Titans plus 3.5 at home. Just a weird game. So Rob and I are on the Titans to cover. Jeff Mans is on Jags minus 3.5.
Wow.
I don't know what we're getting from this Jags team. They did win last week. They looked all right with Beathard. Man, I just am afraid of Rabel here. Jags have played the Titans well historically, but and if I worry they try to force Lawrence in here, and if you guys watched the end of that game a couple weeks ago, his arm looked pretty compromised. So if they I know Christian Kirk got designated to return, so that's something to watch if he plays this week. That could be a huge factor, but I don't know. Rob, what do you got here? You're on the Titans.
I want Vrabel in the hook. I mean, that's really where I'm at. And I think, this Jacksonville team has looked fucking awful. And I don't have any reason to really have hope that they're going to be any different. I think Vrabel attacks them the right ways, gets it done. Again, this is really about getting the hook here for me. I think they can cover the 3.5.
Tyler.
I'm curious who plays quarterback for them, because we saw Will Levis a few weeks back with that high ankle sprain. This past week in week 17, he had to be carted off with the other ankle getting rolled up on.
Oh my God.
This dude cannot stay healthy. Do they go to 55-year-old Ryan Tannehill, or do they go with a guy like Malik Willis and see what they have in him, evaluate him?
Yeah.
If it's Willis, I love the Jaguars number. If it's Tannehill, then perhaps they cover. Titans have nothing to play for. Jaguars win the AFC South with a win here, so they are probably going to rush, for better or worse, Trevor Lawrence under center here. And this Titans defense, they have fallen off in terms of injuries. Every single level, they've been hit by a lot of impact plays. It's just been a long, brutal year for the Titans. For that reason, I kind of want to back the Jags, but I think this is a game we just wait until final injury reports and figure out who's starting for the Titans.
I will say the man's play here. If Lawrence does play, that line will move. Like we saw, we did see the line move in the Jags direction the past couple weeks, but I don't know. All right. No, that was 2 weeks ago. It did move in the direction I wanted it to, and then they got bludgeoned by the Bucs. That's what it was. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. Raiders, Broncos, Raiders -2. Rob, you're a 1 here. Jeff's 2, or Jeff's a 1. Ted's a 2. All on the Raiders. -2.5. What do you got?
I just think this Denver team's a fucking mess. Las Vegas under a field goal against a team that is just a total disaster right now. Give me the Raiders here.
Yeah, I could be talked into that. Both these squads are playing for nothing. This is a meaningless game here. Both have been eliminated for playoffs. But the Raiders could be fighting for their interim head coach, Antonio Pierce. They've been super run heavy. You can run against the Broncos all day. I think we could see this game go in that direction. Denver, man, after what they did to Russ Wilson, this team does not give a shit about the rest of the year.
No. All right, I'm in. Spreadsheet movement. Russ is in.
Let's go.
Raiders.
Yeah, they already have flights booked to St. Martin.
Yeah.
The hell out of town.
That sideline's going to be miserable with Russell Wilson sitting there with his coat on. Awkwardly. All right. Lions -3.5 at home against the Vikes. This Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall thing, quite a disaster, Tyler. Nobody touched this game. What do you got?
So Dan Campbell has said that his starters are going to play this game. So the Lions have an outside shot at winning the number 2 seed. They're currently slated for number 3. They get that number 2 seed if both the Eagles and the Cowboys lose. Both those games are in the 4:25 window. The Lions and Vikings are in the 1 o'clock window. So not knowing the outcome, they're going to be playing all out. All their starters are going to be playing. The Vikings have moved back off Jaron Hall. They're going back to Nick Mullins. I imagine this is actually going to be an entertaining game because Mullins can move the ball and he's actually targeting his good receivers and Justin Jefferson and Addison.
Yeah, both directions, right? He's moving
Yeah.
it one way or the other. Pick six or a touchdown.
Oh, the showdown slate, the last showdown slate with Minnesota, I started Mullins in my showdown lineup. And I was like, all right, I'm going to win all the fucking money here, right? Because they left Hall it a little longer than I had hoped.
Yeah.
But Mullins was 6% owed in the showdown slate, the big one. The showdown slate. 6%.
That was a great play.
So
Mullins was not ready.
I'm just gonna roll the dice here, and hopefully they bench this kid, and they did. And I'm in like 1,000th place. I'm like, okay, I'm in a fucking great spot. Ultimately, did not win all the money, but Hall looked like dog shit.
He just didn't look ready to play. I mean, just straight up, like getting the calls in. That's where I always joke with people, like you say you could do an NFL game. Like, bro, you're not even getting the calls. You're not even hiking the ball. Relax. All right.
Should be a good one. I don't have a close lean on either spread, to be honest. That's one I stayed away from.
Nobody touched that game. All right. Okay. Bucks minus 4.5 at the Panthers. Tyler. Jeff Mans is a 5 here on the Bucks. You got to read here.
Man, tough number. Like, Bucks win the NFC South with a win here, I think. The Panthers have been eliminated from the playoff hunt. Bucks can also get a wild card spot. So they're actually playing for something here. It's really tough to back the Buccaneers after last week's outing. This offense could not move the ball at all. They got some late production in the fourth quarter against the Saints, but this was a team that they had an opportunity to claim the title last week, the NFC South title, and just crap the bed. I could see them doing something similarly here.
It's always a great sign when your owner that's worth $20 billion throws a drink on a fan. I mean, that's always a great sign for a team, right? So, like, Tepper is done. I've been telling you guys all season, the fan base here for Carolina is done. I don't hate taking Tampa Bay here. I hate the number, that's for sure. But, Tampa Bay's obviously the side. I don't know. I don't want a part of it.
The one thing for this Panthers season personally for me is we've gotten some great Tepper stories to come out. People started doing some digging once this has started to go off the rails here. There's a hilarious one that, again, maybe the internet got me again about him like buying someone's house, tearing it down and building a bigger one over it. If that's true.
That was true. Yeah. I think it was his ex-wife or somebody. I don't remember who it was. Somebody that spited him. He bought their house for $40 million, tore it to the ground, and built a new one.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the kind of guy he is.
This guy, man. This guy throwing drinks. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. I'm enjoying it. All right. Chiefs, Chargers. Chargers minus 3.5 at home. Ted's on the Chargers. I am on the Chiefs with the lowest one conviction of the year here. I just feel like this is an infrastructure game, and I'll take the points. But I mean, Rob, what do you got?
3.5 is a good number, obviously. I wish I knew enough about the backups for the Chiefs. I do not. It's an all backup game, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know enough about the Chiefs depth chart to say whether 3.5 is a good number or not, I guess. So I'm just off of it.
Yeah. Tyler.
No desire to play this game either. I have not enjoyed a single moment of Easton's stick under center. I refuse to enjoy it now in week 18.
We're all on board with that take there. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much up for us. And again, Survivor, if you're in an active Survivor League in week 18 of the season, then you're an absolute sicko. And shout out to you for doing that. If you won your Survivor League, awesome. Congrats. And yeah, that's pretty much it for us, guys. So Rob, you got any takes about the the 2023 season as we're sort of wrapping up here?
Yeah, we did fucking terrible. We just did fucking awful at our Circa contest. Like, it was just a total disaster for us. So my only take on 2023 right now is just do better. We just got to do better.
Just do better. Just do better, Tyler. I feel like Rob is one of those guys in the TikToks, just a super jack guy's like, all you got to do is just fucking get up at 4:30, fucking get going, Tyler. Let's go.
Yeah, not enough ice baths before we put in our
Maybe we also need to like conversate with our group besides this video show, like after taking this as the starting point and then building off it in the text thread. I think we dropped the ball there too. Communication, not our strong suit this year.
Okay. All right. So staff cold plunges next year, getting in the gym and fucking talking about our Circa picks. So there you go. Big moves. But yeah, we thank you all for tuning in. And if you like this video, thank you for watching, and hopefully you're checking that out on the site. Hang out in our betting Discord, hang out in our season-long Discord. We got a bunch of good stuff, content, bets, season-long picks, picks against the spread, tons of content going on there. Jeff Mann's rankings and projections on the site. Tons of good stuff. So, and stuff's going to roll on into the playoffs. We're going to have a ton of good content there as well. So, yeah, keep checking that out. And hey, go to the YouTube channel, give our YouTube shorts a little like there. We got some good stuff. California Beach Boys. And, what was the other one? Beef stew.
How to make roast beef. Yeah, how to make roast beef.
Yeah. So there you go. Go check those out as well. All right, guys. Thank you for checking us out, and we'll see you guys next week.